This time we will create a tower in Sketchup inspired by design of Zaha Hadid inspired tower. Here you can see the renders of the finished model we are about to make. The hardest part is definitely creating this curved floor, but I will show you how to do all of that right now. Okay, let's start by adding our grid. We will set the spacing size to 10. It will be 10-meter grid, and the whole area will span 1000 meters. Okay, our grid is ready. We'll begin by making the base. The base will be 30 by 30 meters with a height of 140 meters. Next, we need to move the center of the halfway point and delete the outer walls. It is important to also delete this middle wall that is inside. Now we are left with the main part of the work. We need to create the section that transitions into a smooth curve at the correct distance. And this correct distance is very important. To do this, I will draw a line here that is 55 meters long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we will put the line, and I will move this line to the side by about 60 meters. Now we can create a side surface here. This will be supportive surface. Oh, one more time, and now it's okay. This is our base, and it is quite important to place it in correct area. I will just move these other plugins out of the view. Now for the most important step, we need to create the smooth transition, and for this we will use our plugin Engineering Toolbox. And with the Advanced G1 bridge, with the settings to 0.5, we created the two lines. Now we need to create one more lines, but for this I need to create the supportive lines, and maybe in half. So we'll add the midpoint, and I will use those two lines for creating the smooth bridge G1 lines. Also a value 0.5 for transition should be okay. Okay, maybe the grid is too big, so I will just decrease the size, and now it will be perfect. Now I will use History Toolbox, also our plugins, for creating the copy. Maybe we'll increase the dimension, maybe much more, 400. Yeah, this should be okay, and we have the backup copy. Now I have to create 4 surfaces in total, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and honestly this wouldn't be easy surfaces to create. Let's start with this outer surface. For this specific surface I will use the Curviloft plugins, because this one here will create the perfect shapes. I will divide the segments nicely and generate the surface quite well. Next we will make the intermediate surface using our engineering toolbox. First maybe we will just reverse the faces. Okay. that plugin will also give a very nice results here. So we have this one. I will do the next surface with exactly the same way. So we will use also the engineering toolbox for creating the extrude. That's look good here too. However, now I need to trim this surface. To trim this surface property, I need to go far enough down to select it. Now let we move this one by 500 meters, also with our history toolbox. Then I will also copy this. I'm going to completely lay this surface in the original elements because I will work on it here. Now we need to spend a moment working on this surface in this area. So maybe I will make it as a component. Then I will use our grid and we need to create the surfaces. Now we select everything, and with the intersection we can explode the surface and remove the bottom area. Great, let's select the whole thing and move it back by 400 meters. So now we have it back on the place. Of course, still they are exist as a component. Now we need to create the bottom surface. First we must delete all of these extra lines, otherwise we might forget about it and later we will get the issue with closing the solid. What now we can do, we need to select all the edges. Maybe I will also remove the support surface because we won't use it anymore. We can select the boundary loop. The problem with the boundary is that we still have the components, so maybe I will explode those elements and we'll try to use the loop. Now we can deselect some of the parts because we don't need it for this operation. So as you can see, it is much easier, and what is more important, with these methods we are sure that we have all the edges selected. Okay, so now we can use the fill, and there is some information that still we need to select one more edge, so this will probably solve the problem. Okay, what we need to do is to explode the surface, and we can remove those area. This is because we need to explode the rest of the elements. We also hide the grid, and then we need to move it into the components. We can check with the solid inspector what's going on, and we have still some components inside, so we just explode all of them. And now we can try to remove this surface, and this is what happens. We have finally the bottom plates. So now we will just make it again as a components, and with solid inspectors we still need to fix the bottom plates. We just only removed those additional edges, and we are ready for the slice. Always before the slice, remember to save your file. This is very important. Okay, so let's just check our model one more time. Now we need to open the slicer menu, and set the spacing height to 4 meters and the thickness to half a meter. Okay, now you can leave other options and click OK to generate. And they are, as you can see, it slices up beautiful. However, I noticed we need to manually clean up some of the edges. That's the normal with the slicing with the curved surfaces, and normally you cannot avoid it. So let's go into edit mode and just pull those out a bit to straighten. We can do this directly on the elements, it's not a problem at all. Those tiny difference will merge anyway. The same here. Okay, so we have it, pull it out nicely. There is still this one surface left to extrude. Okay, the same here. And now the transition is very smooth, as you can see. Maybe we'll pull out a bit more to make the elements more smooth. And that's look very good. Okay, now we'll just make the copy, and maybe we will clean and remove some elements, especially those one from the slicer, because we won't use it anymore. But always it is good to have the copy in some area. Let's just look again, and maybe we can also smooth the bottom part, and maybe I can even extend this. This will be useful especially in the rendering, where we can put a lot of green objects like tree, bushes and so on. Well, there is problem with selecting, so maybe I will do it manually, and with the move tool I will extend it a little bit, and this one look really interesting. So we are almost finished with adding the core shapes. Always remember to save, and one more time, it's look fantastic. Of course, if you have a time, you can add some fillets or bevels on each floors to make it even look better. I will definitely delete this top section because the slicer just create the different distance. Now we have the entire main structure, and we can go to the next process. Before that, I will just move it a little bit. Let's create the backup, and we will explode it. And here we need to create the panel, glass panel. Before we start, we need to select all of the bottom elements, all of the bottom surfaces, and you can do it in two ways. First, as you can see, we can do it manually, selecting each of them one by one and create the copy. And there is also second options in the engineering toolbox. We need to select all the surfaces, then we have the option to select faces by directions, and I select the -Z, downgrade floors, and after click OK, you will notice that only the bottom surfaces have been selected, and this is very useful because later you can work on it and you don't have to select it manually. You can do the same in opposite direction, so you need to select with other direction. Okay, so next step, we select all of them and we click Smart Offset and set it to -2. And as you can see, on one floor, one surface is not done, so we need to correct it manually. Now we need to select all of the surface that are inside, and to do this we can also use the additional engineering toolbox plugins. First, we need to check the smallest area, and we select it and we put the 675, and this should be okay. And as you can see, all of them has been created. Now we can again create the copy to work on it, and now we need to select all of the insides and we can remove it. The rest we will use for the future working. Okay, now with the top view, we'll go back to our model and we need to select all the surfaces and just remove it. So we select all of the elements, then with the selection toys we just use the faces and you can remove them. And now for creating the rail, we need to select only one part of each outlines. Unfortunately, now we need to select all of them, and later with the loop we will select everything. So maybe one by one we need to select the edges. So from the beginning, we maybe start with those insides. As you can see, if we go to the area, something like in this view, you will notice that it is quite hard to find all of them. So you need to rotate the camera to get the specific angle view, and until we go to the top we need to select all of those internal parts, and remember to don't miss anything, as you can see, like me here, later with the loop, and we just remove it. Okay, so now we have all the outer elements, so we can use it to create the rail. Those we can of course use to create the glass, of course with the joint push-pull. So we added the thickness, you can now add some material like glass. Let's go to the rail. For creating the rail we need to use the vertex tool, so we select, and with the move up one more time, yes, we create the rails. Okay, so technically speaking, we have the rail, and now we can combine everything together. Of course, before that, we need to turn all of them into the components. And now with the history toolbox, we can move all of them to the right position. But first, I will try to reverse the faces with the 3-dot tool. We will apply some colors, maybe with some opacity. The same with those glass. First we need to make it as a component. Now reverse the faces and apply the material. The blue one will be okay. Also we need to apply opacity, so with some transparency. And now one by one we can move it back to our original location. Of course, also we need to make it as a components, because later it will be easier to separate them. We will apply the material the same. Maybe something closer to white or gray. Okay, I just switched the view for perspective, and it's look good. So let's remove the rail back to the 0 location, and later the glass that is also necessary to move it back again. And it's done. One thing that we need to do manually is to remove the bottom glasses, because it will be underground, and always remember to remove all the objects or elements that won't be used in the future. Okay, and now we are ready for create rendering some additional software.